1,387, 103,088, 1,389. That's it?
You are sitting on my back!
That's kind of the point, dude.
Don't you think this is a bit... I don't know... much to be putting on somebody who doesn't already have training like this?
Yeah, you don't get to play that card anymore, kid.
I'm older than you.
Doesn't change my point. You do not get to play the whole I'm weak card, because we both know that's a lie at this point. I mean, we could skip all this and go straight to having me as a sparring partner if you really want to do that.
Are you fucking crazy?
Knocking out a tiger with one punch is not something a normal person can do. You're nowhere near as normal as you think you are, so one of two things is happening here. Either you lied to me and you were more than willing to use the Orb of Chaos as a fucking crutch instead of relying on yourself, which is something I would need to beat out of you, or you have something you're completely unaware of, and it's going to take a lot of physical work on your end to get that out of you consistently. So either reassume the position, or tell me what you've been hiding.
Okay, fine. This is gonna sound really implausible.
I'm a sound mage in a pink suit and a wolf helmet. Fucking try me.
I actually did receive training before. It was a while back, though. I thought it wasn't sticking, but my masters seemed convinced that I should just keep doing it. I didn't really have a lot of patience to wait for results, so I decided to leave.
Weird. Normally it'd be some kind of magic training that would get a result like that, not physical. Alright, fine. Maybe I can figure out what kind of magic this is, but I need to get in your head to do that.
Jesus, what, you're psychic now too?
Trust me, that would not be a good thing. You wait here, I need to get some material, I guess.
Oh, of course it's a fucking...
Found one!
Wow, that was fast.
Was it fast? Or did I slow down time itself around me?
Well, that'd be a really broken superpower.
Yeah, I guess it would. Anyway, the guy's name is UTubeDude2, and his video is Top 10 Worst Hit Songs of 2017.
I know him. He used to be a commentator. I guess he's doing music stuff now? Don't know why we're covering something from the beginning of the year, but...
This is from June.
Oh. But why, though? Okay, gonna get this out of the way right now. I make a similar list every year that all of you should watch. Give me your money, you capitalist marks. And I get that out in January, while other peers in the genre at the very least get their videos out by February. Keep in mind that I'm the only one of these that uses the requirement that the songs must make the Billboard year-end Hot 100, thus giving myself an objective claim to them being a hit of that particular year. This is why my list comes out sooner than others, but it also means that I have certain omissions that half the time wind up on the list next year anyway. I bring this up because unless YouTube Dude is counting songs from 2018 in his 2017 list, he has no excuse.
The fact that this date is so far into the year is also rather relevant to the information that UTubeDude provides, since a lot of his video's information appears to be in a time capsule from the beginning of the year.
We should probably just skip over those points now that you brought it up. Could get pretty repetitive otherwise.
We ready to start then?
Sure, why not?
In the first video I uploaded on this channel, I said I would be interested in getting into pop song reviews. However, I haven't decided to follow through with that until now. Why? Well, it's a very simple explanation actually. 2017 was the worst year for the pop charts ever. Like, fuck this decade. This was the worst year of all time to be a follower of hit songs. It was definitely way worse than 2016, and I thought that was the lowest point. Guess I was wrong.
That seems a bit hyperbolic.
That's normal for these types of lists. So normal that Todd in the Shadows felt the need to hang a fucking lampshade on it in his 2016 list, but, you know, at least it's part of the genre. I'd say calling it the worst year ever is also an exaggeration, since 1987, 1991, and 1979 all still exist. But at the very least, I can say that's subjective, too. No doubt his list is going to show why he feels it's the worst. Right?
Look, you know it's bad when I have 0 honorable mentions for my best list. That means only 10% of the charts this year was actually worth listening to. What happened? Well, to understand, we must first have a look at the sounds this year had. 2017 was by far the biggest year for hip-hop, and the thing is, I actually like hip-hop as a genre. When it's at its best, it leads to some of the best songs, some of the best albums ever made, as well as a bunch of other interesting narratives and rhyme schemes. However, when it's bad, oh my god, is it bad. And that's pretty much the majority of 2017. Really mediocre or really bad hip-hop. Of course, you still have the usual pop sound of these days that started getting popular around 2014, but as far as I'm aware, pop stars like Ed Sheeran or Adele, hell, even The Weeknd this year were not nearly as big as they were compared to... Migos? Who?
Oh, Ed Sheeran wasn't as big. Yeah, no, I see what you mean. It was practically an indie artist compared to Migos. Yeah, I get that you're saying that there were more hits in rap than in any other genre, which is the truth. But saying that Migos was bigger than Ed Sheeran is a rather spurious claim, considering the fact that the hits that Ed Sheeran had were far more ubiquitous than Migos' releases. So it comes down to you counting quantity of hits over quality of hits, which you probably wouldn't be doing if Bad and Bougie weren't the number 6 on the year end.
In addition, it seems like it would be difficult to be high on the charts during a year where someone releases little to no new music like Adele and The Weeknd did.
And yes, I know that The Weeknd released 3 songs off of Starboy during 2017, singles 4 through 6, which are inherently going to be lower ranking than the first 3 singles.
So basically, 2 of your comparisons are apples to oranges, and the other one is viewing number of hits as more important than how big those hits were.
Exactly.
Yeah, this doesn't seem so bad. I don't know why you get so worked up with these.
Don't get comfortable. I'm sure the blatantly false statements are coming.
I guess we'll start off this list with a pop singer I never really liked.
The day I first met you, you told me you never fall in love.
Demi Lovato. She was on the Disney Channel. The first song I heard from her was Give Your Heart a Break, which lyrically and production-wise is a pretty good song, but if there's one thing I remember very clearly, it was that Demi sounded, very constipated? Even the pretty auto-tune couldn't disguise how ugly Demi sounds here. It's just painful to listen to. However, things change. I find that as time went on, Demi actually became a very capable singer. But oh god, if her songs aren't some of the most benign shit on the charts right now.
Don't tell your mother, kiss one another, die for each other, we're cool for the summer.
We're gonna die for one another. Don't tell mommy.
Okay, it's time for some hardcore lyrical analysis, which is something that apparently takes you 3 fucking years to do. The purpose of the line "die for each other" is to sound insincere, since the rest of the song is about passion-filled fling that, as the title implied, is going to be over within a few months.
The building energy of the instrumental combined with how quickly delivered the lines are also seems to indicate that these are representative of fleeting moments in time that are going to pass by, with only the more intense, passionate moments staying in the memory.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, you saying her music is benign and then using that line as an example comes off as faulty to me because of these factors in the song's construction.
And then there's songs like this.
Baby, I'm sorry. Baby, I'm sorry.
Welp, we did it. We've hit rock bottom. And we're only at number 10. Like I said, Demi is a very capable singer. Maybe too capable. Perhaps to the point of over-singing an obnoxious Snapchat catchphrase at their fucking chorus. Lyrically, the song is bare-bone to the point of annoyance. It's about Demi totally owning this person. And that's it. What did this person do to suffer the wrath of Demi Lovato? I have no idea. Never explained. As a result, this song has about as much depth as a BuzzFeed article.
Never explained, you say? I mean, while the song doesn't outright state what's going on, there's actually lyricism that indicates things like how she's getting her revenge.
Baby, finance is the way to kill. Tell me how I feel, but it's such a bitter pill.
Even as the first stanza of the song.
Now I'm out here looking like revenge, feeling like a 10, the best I ever been.
This next part I would think you would get, considering how many times it's repeated, by the way.
And yeah, I know how bad it must hurt to see me like this, but it gets worse.
And also has lines that indicated what he did to incur this particular type of revenge.
Now you're out here looking like regret, ain't too proud to beg, second chance you'll never get.
But since you apparently failed to see what's going on before now, allow me to just spell it out for you. He dumped her, so she's making herself as attractive and desirable as possible to make him jealous.
In addition, one could argue that the boisterous singing of the sorry not sorry line in the chorus is intended to play on the vindictive nature of the song. I mean, I get it, it's over the top, but that might be the point. Wait, why did you repeatedly turn into a music video just now?
What are you talking about?
Something like, in your fantasy, I am just weaker, but in reality, I am just stronger than you will ever be, would have made this song somewhat salvageable, as it would be actually giving Demi motivation to make this song.
Except, she doesn't need to say she's strong when he thinks she's weak, because that's not the point.
Based on the fact that she's talking about her attractiveness throughout the song, it's implied that the breakup was in some way related to that. She made herself up to be more attractive so that he'd regret dumping her. Simple as that.
Yes, it's petty, vindictive, and indeed shallow, but that's the point of the song.
No. Fuck country. I hate this genre of music. Very rarely will I listen to a country song and go like, hey, that was decent. Know why? Because 99% of this genre is filled with sleazy, cheesy, queasy love songs.
The vast majority of most popular forms of music is love songs, dude, but didn't you say this about hip-hop earlier?
I actually like hip-hop as a genre. When it's at its best, it leads to some of the best songs, some of the best albums ever made, as well as a bunch of other interesting narratives and rhyme schemes.
This is gonna come up more later, but something you describe later as hip-hop you don't like is, guess what? The vast majority of the genre. Hating the majority of a genre is fine. I have a distinct distaste for most country music for the exact same reasons, but that doesn't mean I dismiss the genre's high points because the low points are so prevalent. If that were the case, I wouldn't listen to metal since the majority of it is loud with no substance behind the ferocity. I wouldn't listen to glam rock because of how much of a corporate fucking product the vast majority of it is. And here's the big one for me. I wouldn't listen to EDM because of how few people in the genre understand that you have to evolve throughout the song instead of just repeating the same thing over and over again.
In other words, saying that you don't like a genre because of the majority dismisses the genre's high points. While true, saying that there are stylistic elements that are part of the genre's identity that you don't like is a valid criticism, saying that the genre is bad because most of the songs have similar subject matter kind of dismisses the songs that don't have that subject matter.
The sleaziness comes from the twangy guitars, which gives an atmosphere of low-grade snuff films.
Low-grade snuff films? Dude, legit, what the fuck?
Alright, I don't exactly know what a snuff film soundtrack would sound like, but saying that acoustic and steel guitars are inherently sleazy sounds like an awful comparison.
I mean, I can kind of get that the twang can come across as a bit sleazy, especially if it sounds that way in particular to you, but my problem is with the low-grade snuff film thing, mostly because I would think of a horror soundtrack with a snuff film as opposed to the brighter instrumentalization associated with country.
I mean, I could kind of see the comparison if you said it was like a low-grade porn film, since the twang does have a sleazy vibe to it without being as smooth as a funk guitarist, but as it stands, your comparison feels very left field.
The cheesiness comes from the country music's overabundant use of lovey-dovey cliches, and the queasiness comes from the fact that a majority of country singers sound like they have hay shoved in their mouth and that they're gonna barf it out any second. However, this song adds an extra layer of cheesiness by trying to fuse country slang with hip-hop slang and failing miserably at it.
What hip-hop slang?
I have, let's say, a friend who's really into hip-hop, so I can vouch for this one. Nothing in here is rap slang. The closest phrase to being hip-hop slang is South Side, but even then, he's referring to the South Side of town, which is just general slang and not anything remotely hip-hop oriented. Unless you mean him talking about how thick the girl's hips are.
But even then, he's just describing something physical that he likes about the girl. And since the song is a lot more about her body than her personality, that's not something that's all that surprising. Shame you provide no elaboration on his attempts to co-opt hip-hop slang. Kinda makes me think you made it up. Just saying.
The song is called Body Like a Back Road. Back roads are dirty, directionless, unmaintained patches of cement that exist as detours from a main road. If you actually saw someone that had a body like a back road, they'd probably be the most unattractive person ever. You literally could have used any other metaphor. Body like an hourglass. Body like a pork chop. Hell, body like a fucking Twizzler would have worked better than fucking body like a back road.
Oh, good. I see we're still using this complaint. Alright, look, I get it. This is something that most people associate with back roads, so even though it's not part of the definition, they feel the imagery is faulty. But since this is not something I've associated with back roads, this comes across as an invalid complaint from my perspective. It's a difference of opinion. Hey, whatever. However, not only do I have more to add that shows why this being your problem with the comparison is a lot more flimsy than you think it is, I also have an actual problem with the comparison to bring up. So, first of all, you don't know the stereotype of a back road. If you did, you wouldn't even be bringing up cement, since that's not in any way part of the stereotypical description. Second, I think everyone's forgetting the other implication of a back road, that it's surrounded primarily by nature. Therefore, saying it's unmaintained is kind of the point. He's appreciating the natural beauty, even with the flaws that it may have. The last problem that I have is that you're really adding something to the comparison when he explains the familiarity is the comparison. This isn't like the Laffy Taffy line about Jolly Ranchers. In that line, he says he stays hard and you can suck him for a long time by comparing himself to something that's small. Being small in the sense he's talking about is always considered an insult. In this line, however, he's saying that he's familiar with her body and that you're adding that it's unmaintained, as though every person requires high maintenance in order to be attractive. As though every road requires maintenance to be attractive, for that matter. Dirt roads typically don't, and gravel roads have their own beauty in the form of the pattern of the gravel. But there is an actual problem with his comparison at the end of the day. Her body's like a back road because it's familiar, right? Yeah. Somebody most likely had to either pave that or, put the gravel down. Even a dirt road has some sort of paving to it. What I'm saying is that you're kind of taking away from your connection with this girl by basically saying that you're not the first one, and probably far from the first one, to ride along her curve. If I really wanted to stretch, I'd say you might actually be accusing her of cheating on you, but again, that'd be a stretch. What I'm saying is that Sam Hunt is unintentionally calling his fiancée a slut.
Nah, I got it.
Then again, what else do I expect from the same genre that gave us Big Green Tractor?
Yeah, what would I ever expect from a genre that gave me a song I don't like, other than another song I don't like? We've been over this!
Wait, we're skipping this one? Why?
I mean, at best, I'd really just be disagreeing with him about certain things. There may be slight misinterpretations of lyrics on his part, but it's not anything so egregious that it hurts the point.
Oh. Why are we still here then?
I don't know.
Great scenes might be great, but I love your bloopers. Imperfects for the urgent, baby, I want forever. Caroline, don't you see that? I want you to be mine.
I have nothing.
Are you seriously using that joke again?
Shut up!
Actually, no. I have a lot of things. I just don't know where to start. Should I start with the same chord being obnoxiously repeated to the tune of a 4-note chord progression throughout the entire song? Should I start by talking about lyrics such as, "Don't wanna talk it out, can we fuck it out?" No, let's start with the singing, because that's what ultimately threw me off.
Bad things, funny as hell, thick as fuck, oh my god. That's my baby.
Everything about the way anime sings this song is off-putting and creepy, from the weird freestyle chanting we heard in the background of that clip, to the uncomfortably cheesy harmonization I opened up this entry with, to the inappropriate amount of lust he puts into lyrics like this.
Let's get gory, like a Tarantino movie.
Yeah, it's the Tarantino movie you're thinking of.
You know, fair enough if you don't like the singing, but I get the impression that the point of that line is that he wants to get straight into the action, with action scenes being particularly gory in Quentin Tarantino films.
Well, yes, I was thinking of no Quentin Tarantino movie in particular. Yeah, his verified entries on Genius, link in the description, also repeatedly bring up Outkast, specifically Andre 3000 and Erykah Badu, two singers known for more nasally delivery. I mean, you may not like the inflection of his singing, but I can definitely identify his artistic influences in that regard, and from my perspective, although he's not at their level, he's certainly staying true to them in terms of style.
Speaking of which, I guess we gotta talk about the lyrics.
Don't wanna hear about your horoscope or what the future holds. Shut up and...
Alright, I guess this guy doesn't give a shit about this girl's personality at all. Guess the only thing going for Caroline is looks that remind him of other girls, which he practically admits at the beginning of the song.
Listen, man. What's up? I heard you done got you a dime piece, man. Hell no, man. One of them Beyonce making good types, man. Nah. Is that true, man? I just want to know.
That was a conversation. That was meant to depict multiple people. If you listen to what's actually being said, that is a person who asked him about the rumor that he has a new girl. And then at the end, he goes into describing the girl in question.
Even if that was him referring to her as a Beyonce making good type, that's using a comparison in order to give a quick overview of how attractive she is. Not saying that she doesn't have her own attractive qualities and just has the attractive qualities of somebody else. Especially since the intro segment depicts a conversation, not a soliloquy.
If it were a soliloquy, then he'd be asking someone else about their girl and responding by talking about his own anyway. Meaning, you're still wrong.
Hit the school, I can get them both. I don't wanna choose, and I'm quick. Cut a nigga off, so don't get comfortable. Look.
I can't. I've tried, but I cannot deal with this. Choose does not rhyme with comfortable.
You're the one who stopped the video, what's up?
That's the fucking point!
Wow, you are loud.
Hey, you notice how Cardi's telling you don't get comfortable, and in doing so she plays with the lack of comfort she wants you to have by not ending the line in a rhyme? It's almost like the lack of a rhyme is intentional so that you will not be comfortable, you ignorant, intolerable, insufferable fuckstick!
Whoa! Okay!
Sorry, I can only handle so much stupid.
Yeah, no kidding.
Now that that's out of the way, this song, to me, perfectly encapsulates every bland, sterile rap song that plagued 90% of the charts this year. You see, mainstream rap songs can now only be about three things: getting money, being a gangsta, and fucking bitches. Don't believe me? All of these songs made a year-end list. I had to listen to every single one of these fucking songs in order to make this list. You think the mainstream would get sick of hearing the same saturated crap over and over again. And they have. In fact, this one commenter I found perfectly stated my thoughts on this dilemma. Lit! More commenters follow. Indeed, the state of the pop charts are currently lit in flames.
Okay, wow, you're so incredibly white. Do you not get what lit actually...
It's a joke. He's doing that on purpose.
Yeah. Well, it's not funny, though.
No, it's not. See, what you're describing is the vast majority of all rap. not just 2017 rap. So since you hate country for what the vast majority of it is, then your earlier statement about liking rap as a genre was a lie. Well, either that, or you don't know what you're talking about.
Could be both, especially since he seems to be ignoring songs like Humble, XO Tour Life, 1-800-273-8255, Bounce Back, DNA, Juju on That Beat, and Loyalty, which while containing elements of these aspects in some cases, also contain far different subject matter from that.
Not to mention the song he just bitched about, which is about him going after a particular girl, and the song Rolex in particular that he played being primarily about looking better when dancing because of, in particular, a watch. It mentions the watch, and it mentions dancing, but the elements he's talking about are really only cursory, if they're at all.
Considering how many songs do this, saying that every song is like that is a stretch. More of a stretch than your whole 90% of the charts bullshit.
Also, congratulations for finally telling us what criteria you're using to make this list. Could have done it at the beginning when you were laying the landscape, just saying.
Hey, speaking of laying the landscape, didn't you say that the sounds from 2014 were just now going away at the beginning of the video? So, I guess it would make sense for mainstream to get sick of the same saturated crap over and over again as quickly as within a year, now would it?
Yeah, this point is... it's bad.
You, don't have something more clever than that?
Fuck, I don't know. Rainbow dildos!
What?
But that begs the question, why this song specifically? Because in my opinion, this one is the most insultingly lazy out of all of them. Let me put it like this. There is no energy in this song. This beat is dead. Cardi B is trying to go for an aggressive sound considering the nature of the song, but her phoned-in performance makes her sound more exhausted than anything.
Drop 2 mixtapes in 6 months. What bitch working as hard as me?
Well, and slow down, guys.
I mean, yeah, the instrumental doesn't have a whole lot going on other than a 3-note progression, a snare, and occasional sound effects splashed in that, in reality, don't add a lot of energy. Although I'd argue that her delivery is just aggressive enough. It's not so aggressive that it interferes with the uncaring attitude that you seem to have missed in her lyrics for some reason, but it still presents aggression when it actually is necessary.
Okay, see, normally I'd give credit to something that I can at least hear somebody else getting out of a song, even though I don't get that. But considering the line you use as an example of her being exhausted, it sounds like you were expecting this. Drop 2 mixtapes in 6 months, what bitch working is on me! Instead of something that sounds like an actual person. I mean, don't get me wrong, over-the-top delivery is something that often works fantastically in music, but wouldn't that just make too much of a contrast between the downplayed beat and the aggression of the vocals? I'm also willing to chalk this up to a potential difference in what we're hearing, too. Don't get me wrong, but I had the freaking Screamo joke, and fuck, I had to use it somewhere.
Other songs like this at least had an interesting production or some semblance of energy, such as little skirts in the background. Can't say the same about this.
I'm sorry, do you mean ad-libs? Yeah, the song has that.
On me, drop 2 mixtapes mad at me. They baby father run a bill. That little bitch, she thick. I say, hoes no, they none of they niggas to say. Forgot, I just wanna check the mail, another check from Mona.
I mean, let's be realistic here. They may not be as completely over-the-top ridiculous as the ad-libs done in Miko's songs. But she still does provide ad-libs in the song, which you, for some reason, think is a production thing.
Production!
It's not, and whether you find either form of ad-lib interesting is debatable.
Debatable.
Shut up! So it's not exactly a fair criticism to levy on this song over others.
As for the lyrics, let me just get out my checklist. Getting money?
I don't dance now, I make money move.
Check. Being a gangster?
If you a pussy, you get popped. You a goofy, you a op. Don't you come around my way. You can't hang around my block.
Check. Fucking bitches? Or, in Cardi's case, getting fucked?
My pussy feel like a lake. He wanna swim with his face. I'm like, okay. I let him get what he want. He buy me East Saint Laurent and the new whip. When I go fast as a horse, I got the trunk in the front.
Check.
I mean, yeah, it's a brag rap song. Big shock.
I get that you're trying to say that hearing the same subject matter over and over again can get repetitive. That's valid. But allow me to present a slightly different angle. It's not about what you're talking about. It's about what you're saying about the subject matter. In a song like this, a more accurate judge of its quality is the wordplay as opposed to, oh, they brought up money, or, oh, they brought up fucking. For example, this line in the chorus.
These expensive, these is red bottoms, these is bloody shoes.
Now, before Cardi's song, there weren't a whole lot of people bringing up red bottom shoes as a sign of status, and there damn sure weren't people using that same sign of wealth as a sign of aggressive dominance through the use of symbolism of blood on the bottom of her shoes. This has the same familiar subject matter, but is still good because of its imagery and wordplay. In addition,
do we really have time for you to go through the whole song, White Rap Critic?
You know what? Good point. What I'm trying to say here is that, especially since you're saying that this is the prime example of this problem, picking a song with worse lyrics, more actually tired delivery, and a beat that's just as dead would be a better comparison.
Oh, like Rockstar by Post Malone.
Exactly, like Rockstar by... Hey, wait a minute!
Also, bonus points for imitating Nicki Minaj when writing that line. Extra bonus points for taking this flow from some other rapper's song. Why am I not listening to literally anything else? Oh wait, I forgot, the year was 2017. My bad.
Yeah, I don't think comparisons to stuff from 2014 really help indicate why this is worse than what else was in 2017, though. You've told me nothing out of this song that I didn't get far more prevalently from songs like Bank Account, so what about this song is worse than the category of songs you were talking about?
In addition, although I'll admit you're allowed to dislike the similarity in flow between Kodak Black's song and Cardi B's song that is named after him for that exact reason, there's a bit of a difference between sampling a flow and writing your own lyrics for it and outright stealing. If we really wanted to go there, Tech Nine's a terrible artist because he stole his entire flow from Twista, DMX is terrible because he stole his entire image from Tupac, Kanye West Through the Wire is a terrible song because its chorus comes from another song. Stan is terrible because its chorus comes from another song. And most importantly, every rapper outside of the very first ones are garbage because every stylistic choice in hip-hop traces back to them. There are cases where having the same melody or flow is inherently bad, yes. Fucking show me why it is here.
It honestly pains me that an artist like Kendrick Lamar is involved in this god-awful abomination to the ears, but it is what it is, I guess.
I don't wanna know, who's taking you home.
Wait, what? No, that's not what I'm talking about. Who cares about Maroon 5 anymore? Here's my actual pick.
I get those goosebumps every time. I need the Heimlich, throw that to the side.
You may need to choose your next words very carefully, Mr. Dude.
I don't think that's his last name.
God damn it, you ruined my intimidation tactics.
Yeah, I know. I could have went with the safe choice and bag on Don't Wanna Know like everyone else has, but I'd rather keep this an honest list. And to be honest, I fucking hate this song. The first time I heard it, the egregious production immediately struck out to me. And for good reason, too. Every chord of this ear-violating melody are chords begging for a resolve, but those chords never get that resolve, and as a result, we're left with an ugly-sounding final product that stresses my brain out whenever I attempt to even think about it. But YouTube Dude, the song's supposed to be off-putting. You know what? You're right. This song definitely achieves that effect. In the first couple of seconds.
7:30.
Hear how much better that sounds? Why couldn't the entire song sound like that? It actually gives off an eerie vibe without breaking every rule of music theory.
You know, that's actually a decent point, even if it's one I personally disagree with. Both of those instrumentals are suitably unsettling, so if you find one to be unsettling in a more palatable way, then...
No. It's not a good point at all.
Sorry, what?
Let me handle this.
Alright, I guess I get to go play Overwatch again. Some shit. I don't know, Blood Bowl.
Sir, are you aware of the difference between a discordant sound and simply a dark sound? Because the one you describe as better is not only less discordant and less off-putting, and instead simply has a superficial level of tension that does not match with the unsettled nature of the original work, except for the purpose it serves within the work, a break into relative normalcy, in order to enhance the impact of the more discordant parts of the piece are intended to convey. In fact, I'd argue that it's not the chord progression at all that strikes you the wrong way, but rather the choice of instrument, since both variations rely heavily on unresolved chord progressions, the purpose of which is to create an element of tension. In fact, if it's not the instrumentalization that drives you away, maybe it's the fact that you've been listening to too much watered-down pop music and don't know what the fuck a chord even is!
Damn, dude.
And the production issues don't stop here. You see, this song tries to go for a cinematic tone the same way The Weeknd's The Hills did, except rather than adding a booming bass, loud snare, or anything that would make the song less impactful with said anything being taken out, they add random sound effects of dogs barking.
I get those goosebumps every time.
Oh wait, there's some lightning strike sound effects in this song too.
Yeah, except those aren't actually part of the song. I can tell you only watched the music video, which is honestly there to distract you from the actual production of the song. Good.
Not surprised that he's not even listening. Cinematic is such a nebulous term too, so considering how many problems I've had thus far, I find it difficult to take his word on it trying to be cinematic.
He tries to elaborate on that, but his wording is confusing. How is adding booming bass and loud snare less impactful? Upset anything taken out? What the fuck are you even saying?
I think he's trying to imply that loud sounds in the instrumental would make it less impactful. That makes zero sense though. Either that or he's trying to say that they should have toned it down if they weren't going to include those louder sounds, but that's also stupid. Take out what?
Yeah, this entire little bullet point here is a hot mess.
As if the only thing I'm getting out of this song isn't a melody that sounds like it's drunker than me. I mean, maybe I could have gotten more out of this at first. The lyrics did sound like they were gonna be interesting. Then
Tossing in the city, don't get misinformed. Yeah, they gon' pull up on you.
it just becomes another hardcore gangster rap, even though the chorus was about how you get goosebumps but some girl makes it all better.
Okay, so goosebumps implies a reaction of fear, yeah? Triggering one's fight or flight response. Well, wouldn't firing on the source of the threat be something that someone experiencing that fight or flight response might actually, do? If not for the line about being with his squad, which you talk over, this would also sound like a description of the fears he faces in the hood. This expression of fear, masked by bravado, appears elsewhere in the song, namely the beginning of the first verse.
713 through the 281, yeah, I'm riding. Why they on me?
It's almost like this song has context for why it's about being a gangsta.
The hell?
God damn it, not again. Hang on.
Oh, look what you made me do.
Look, I'll skip if you'll skip.
Yeah, let's just get to the bad part of this segment.
It was a shame how he carried on.
All joking aside, I think the biggest thing people neglected to cover was how this blatantly disregards the show don't tell rule. Taylor throughout this song is singing, "Look what you made me do. I got smarter, I got harder. I got mine, but you'll all get yours." Yeah, fucking show it then. Even if you don't disagree with Taylor throughout her drama with Kanye, you cannot deny the fact that Taylor doesn't add anything new to the drama here. She doesn't argue against Kim Kardashian's Instagram leak, or present a new case of evidence that would make her look more in the right. All she adds is salt and nothing but her own salt. I am very salty about bad pop songs, but at least I explain why I am. Taylor, on the other hand, just makes a pointless waste of a song that fails as both a rebuttal and a satire.
Okay, I didn't say it was terrible.
What do you mean? I mean, it's obvious what the point is here, right? Making the presumption that this is actually intended as a rebuttal as opposed to simply a self-satirical work is presumptuous, right?
Not really. I mean, he's saying it doesn't rebut anything, which it really doesn't. It just says, I'm gonna be mean and it's all your fault, but the failure is satire, I feel, should be expanded upon to explain why this fails. Because honestly, even I didn't cover that all that well. In my list, I brought up Blank Space by Taylor right at the beginning, and there's a reason I did that. Look What You Made Me Do is kind of like a combination of that and Bad Blood, a song about Taylor's own vindictive nature that's in reality non-specific enough that anybody who doesn't know what it's about can listen to it as a form of self-parody, while those who know what's really going on get added value. In the case of Blank Space, it's the parody of the perception that Taylor's incapable of holding a relationship, and in the case of Bad Blood, it's a commentary on her falling out with Katy Perry. Bad Blood is pretty limp-wristed as a parody as well, but at the very least, it's more so about being hurt by the thought that two people who used to be friends are now enemies, rather than about the inciting incident itself. So at the very least, it somewhat works. The problem here is that not only does the title and in fact the lyrics of the song imply the importance of the inciting incident, but there's not a damn lyric indicating as much, and with the implied importance of the cause of this, knowing nothing about it is, well, sketchy. What did this person do to make you do this? Even a stance like this. I was atop my golden throne, then you came in and drove that stake right through my heart, revealed the beast I was. Do you see how that implies what's going on at the very least? If you're gonna make yourself sound vindictive, then just fucking do it.
I didn't know you could sing.
There's a lot of things you don't know about me.
Are you fucking serious right now?
Hang on.
China, 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 China.
Look, I'm not gonna defend that garbage.
Okay. For those who've been observing this list, trying to get a better understanding of my musical tastes, you may have noticed that I do not like songs that are dead inside. Don't get me wrong, I like slow songs when they're done well, but usually those songs need to kick into high gear or have a really strong emotion throughout in order for me to really like them. Preferably both. However, what if a song had too much energy? I mean, how would that be?
I took a white bitch to Starbucks. That little bitch got a throat. Fuck, I like to rock, but I'm misfit. My emo bitch like a wrist slit.
Do I even need to say anymore? I think that alone answered your question. Really, I could just leave it at that clip and call it a day. Who thought it was a good idea to have a singer literally blow out the microphone over the space part of a beat? Wikipedia, give me some answers.
Really? Not even gonna go look at the source the statement is cited from? You see the 11 beside the statement you're reading off? Yeah, that's a link to the bottom of the page, specifically a Washington Post article that's a lot less likely to get removed because some dickhead decided to vandalize the page. Look, I'm not saying your source is valid. I'm saying that you have access to a more direct means of information, so you should probably take it.
I didn't know you knew college-level citations.
There's a lot of things you don't know about me.
Look at Me has a distorted bass that has been extremely boosted to offer a lo-fi aesthetic. Roges, the producer, said the poor mixing on the track was intentional to differentiate the song from other popular hip-hop songs. Okay, first, just because your song is different doesn't mean it's good. Second off, if you really wanted to differentiate yourself from the crowd, then maybe don't sample some other rapper's song in the process. Seems a tad counterproductive.
I mean, it's not like sampling has been an important part of hip-hop since its inception, but yeah, I guess sampling a beat from within a year or two of when the song was made isn't that great of an idea, especially one that's being used by everyone.
Well, I mean, I'd say that applying that beat to a different type of song works well, to be honest, when the distortion isn't on it. It feels like Look at Me's beat has more of a depth to it than the original Water beat does, though. But the stick figure at least has a point.
I mean, honestly, he does throughout most of this list.
Then why the fuck are we even doing this?
I mean, just because I agree with him that a song is bad or that it has flaws doesn't mean I think that his reasoning is sound. For the record, a number of the songs on this list also made my worst songs of 2017, and although there were a couple that kinda got into the honorable mentions, none of them got into the best of 2017 list. I didn't do this because YouTube liked some songs that I didn't or disliked some songs that I liked. I made this because I found his reasoning to be faulty, due to a lack of proper lyrical analysis, a lack of elaboration solely because other people have said things already, or, well, both. There were also a number of points where he contradicted himself, and it's not like these were blatantly obvious contradictions either. These were things that, when you thought about them in relation to things he previously said, just kind of notice the double standard going on there, you know what I mean? To be honest, if he watched this video, heard what I had to say, and still hated all these songs for the exact reasons he gave in his video, I wouldn't really be bothered. But that doesn't mean I don't have objective problems with some of his statements, even if they are supposed to be subjective. If I had any advice for YouTube Dude, it would be this. Absolutely, don't be afraid to be the type of reviewer you want to be, by all means. But if you want my opinion on the matter, I think your lyrical analysis skills need a little bit of work, especially when a video like this is this late into the year.
Wait a minute. Did you just give your final thoughts?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Oh. Well, I guess I need to give mine. On you.
Oh, great. We're doing this again.
Well, after doing one of these commentary things with you, I think I figured out the key to whatever power you've got, but I think conferring with the person who trained you in the first place would help ensure that I'm on the right track. Even if I am, knowing more about what they intended for you to learn would help figure out what direction to go with your training other than random exercises. Unless you like doing push-ups with me sitting on your back.
Oh! Right. You see, the thing about that...
If your master's dead, I swear to God...
No, it's not that. It's just that, well, the only way to get there is through my pocket dimension?
Oh, yeah. Right. Sure. Lead the way then?
What?
You can bring people with you, right?
I mean, yeah, but...
Great, lead the way.
But what about...
Oh, relax, Jacob wouldn't be able to follow you.
Who?
Anyway!
Ah.